I'm Gene Weeks, grandson of Steve Weeks, and some of you have heard me speak on behalf of him before, but I'll give you a quick rundown again to refresh your memories. Steve, or SP as he was known, was born in Toronto, Canada in 1851. He came to the United States with his parents when he was 6 months old. His parents settled at Waterloo, Iowa, where his dad opened a butcher shop. Steve was educated and learned the butcher trade from his dad. In 1868, at the age of 17, Steve and his older brother Charles went to Texas and hired on to bring a Texas herd of cattle up to Dakota Territory. When they got as far as what Yankton is today, Steve stopped off and went to work for a rancher there who had a meat shack right on the bank of the Missouri River. And Steve's job was to sort out cattle that were ready to butcher and bring them to a holding pen. And when the steamboat came up, they whistled however many times that the beef that they wanted to load, and his job was to butcher those beef and get them ready to load. It was there that he met and married Annie Thompson, an immigrant from Norway, or her parents were, and shortly after their marriage, he moved on to become a butcher for the cavalry at Fort Sully. And from there, he moved his family to Bismarck, and in 1878, he went to work as a butcher, or 1881, excuse me, he went to work in a butcher shop in Bismarck. And in 1882, he moved his family over to Mandan and took over the management of the Riverside Ranch Company, which had been established south of Mandan by Steve, his younger brother John, and another man from Bismarck. And so a lot of the things that he did was to promote jobs in addition to disposing of his own cattle that he needed to. In 1924, Steve and his sons built a rodeo arena on the ranch and started having rodeos, which turned into an annual affair from 1924 until the last rodeo was held in 1943. In fact, I was at the last two rodeos that was held there. I was riding my Shetland pony. That kind of gives away my age, doesn't it? Steve and Annie retired on a small place on Otter Creek, and Annie died in 1943 and Steve in 1946. If you're looking for some history that goes back a ways, I hope that you'll consider Steve for the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
3 minutes.
Okay, thanks, Don. Just want to talk a little bit quickly about when you're looking at these guys that came in here and started North Dakota. You know, the perseverance they had. As an educator, one of the things I saw when I was talking to Mr. Weeks, talking about Steve Weeks, is that he hired a teacher. He had 8 kids, and he had hired men that had kids, and he had the foresight to say, let's bring a teacher in here and start a school so our next generations are educated. And things, you know, he's not the only guy that did things like this, but these people that came to North Dakota, and they persevered, and they knew how to. And education was one of them. And Steve, if you read his bio, he had 8 kids. He brought in his own teacher, started his own schoolhouse, and they taught their kids, educated them. Thanks.